Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
My cancer is social. I don't know if anybody knows, but I was diagnosed with cancer this year, Hodgkin's lymphoma. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the story. We're going to start in Seattle around 2006. It's a beautiful, beautiful skyline. I immediately fell in love with it. Opera browser had me out for an Opera 9 release, and it was the first time I had ever been to the West Coast, and it was awesome. I fell in love with Seattle. I'm not going to show pictures of me as a kid during this slideshow, even though it would kind of be fun. That's my aunt there, but no kid pictures. But you can follow my mom on Twitter. She's Sweetie. That's Sweetie with 3s. She would love it. She calls people on Twitter her peeps. So when I was out in Seattle for Opera 9 release, I met this fellow. I'd been following him for a long time in his work. You know, and I stood there and I looked at him and I thought, the shelves in his house must be really low. Because he's got a, you know, you want some soup or something? Chris Pirillo is awesome. So while I was out there, I got to meet the CEO of Opera, Jan von Teschner, I believe is his name. I brought a funny hat. You know, they're from Norway. And so I had a Viking hat. I got him to wear the hat. That was my goal for the trip. Get the CEO to wear the hat, and he did it. As you can see, I was pretty stoked. So after that, I fell in love with Seattle, and I begged for a job at a company called Plugged, based in Seattle. And that's where I met this guy, Mike Demers, who's eating jelly beans. You can, that's him, rocking out by a limo. And there's me and Chris again when I got back to Seattle, and everything's happy. It's a hot chick. Somebody suggested that I put a hot chick in my presentation. I was actually looking for a picture to use, and I did Google search, image search, and someone hacked my machine and turned safe search off.
Sorry.
It almost got scary.
Sorry.
But no hot chick. So I left Seattle. And I met, you know, this guy. We worked together for a year. And the day that I left Seattle, I found out that he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I had never had someone close to me be diagnosed with cancer other than my grandmother. And this is the first time someone I worked with every day and lived with for a while. And I called Mike. I tried to email him. You can jump in on this. It was your cancer.
I just wanted to point out that it was platonic. Roommate situation.
It was platonic. I'm the big spoon.
Separate beds. Very I Love Lucy.
So I went back to Philly, and Mike went into hiding a little bit. His cancer was not social.
No. My cancer was very attracted to Law and Order. I've seen like every Law and Order.
It was Law and Order, and what else did you have on TiVo?
I thought we weren't going to talk about the whole Gossip Girl thing.
So his cancer wasn't social. So I mean, you know, I wanted to go through this with him. I was on my way out of Seattle, leaving, and here's my best friend dealing with cancer. So I then got a job at Blip.tv, wonderful people in New York City. And that's where I started my affinity for monkeys. I don't know if you've ever seen the flying monkeys. Anyone seen the flying monkeys? You slingshot, and they go, hey! Really annoying. So after that, I decided everywhere I was going to work, I was going to buy flying monkeys for the office. Because they're fun. And to this day, Blip.tv does the Monkey Olympics every year. It's pretty cool.
This would have been a good time to actually have one.
I should have gotten one.
Sorry.
Oh, well. But you've got the jelly beans.
That's true.
Then I took a job at Strands. Now, the common thread during all of this is I've always had a role that's somewhat of a community manager or an evangelist. Basically, I would be the representative of the company who would go out, meet people, talk about whatever product or service we had, and I would be social. I would talk to people. I'd spend personal time with them. You know, I'd invest personal time into people, and they did the same for me. You know, clearly one of our marketing goals at Strands was a onesie for every baby. That's the only onesie we ever made, though. I went to San Francisco. Never really been to San Francisco other than a few trips. So that's one of my roommates from San Francisco, Trevor. someone whom I would never have hung out with, big muscle head, and so we had this room full of this house full of 4 people, very different people, and I was forced to be social with a situation I wasn't comfortable with. It was like a big frat house, but it worked out. It really did, and we worked together every day, and we lived together. And along the way, also the way I've chosen to express myself through situations I've been through and done, I get tattoos. That's my RSS logo tattoo. That's my Twitter tattoo. I raised over $2,000 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation for Melanie Mitchell, and I have her name tattooed on my arm. So I've always been invested in humans, in people. Whoa, you have a pointer.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to point out that this is not the Twitter tattoo.
No, that's
that
not the
wouldn't
Twitter
make any
tattoo.
sense.
That is.
Yeah.
Nice. That's Kid Robot. I'm running out of real estate, too. So that's the Space Needle from my time spent in Seattle. It's the Space Needle taking off from the stand, and there's a little alien and stuff like that. So everything I've done has meant something to me. Everyone I've met means something to me, and I carry it with me wherever I go, even though that I move around a lot. Yeah.
Gotcha, sorry.
Okay. My friend and mentor, Mickey Krimmel, Wikipedia, she's always been good to me, and I've learned a lot from her and through her community efforts. And I asked her, I said, how do you get the word out about things? How do you share things? She's just be a human fucking being. Talk to people, listen to people. Don't shove anything down their throats. If they have feedback and you're a decent person, they'll give it to you. And then you take that feedback, and that's how you mold your message. It's good advice. So my monkey, a friend of mine, Janine, very talented graphic designer, I decided I wanted a logo for my website, my blog. And I kind of make this funny face in pictures, which kind of looks like that, and I have an affinity for monkeys. So she made this, and it sat for about a year I had nothing to do, nothing for it. Other people were doing it, though. We have this one. So again, Chris Pirillo. Chris Pirillo's been woven through the fabric of my life. Thank you, Chris. South by Southwest this year. I went. It's a good time. It's fun. I got to hang out with a lot of you and talk to a lot of you. Very happy, good times. I was rocking out. Hanging out with good friends. I mean, these are people, Kenyatta, Clintus McGinnis, the Ray brothers. These are people that I've known for years. They're video bloggers, and I've made friends with them. And when I would talk about a product or service for a company I worked for, I'd bring it to them, and they'd say, that's shit, or that's cool. And they'd give me feedback, right? It's awesome. I met my beautiful fiance, now fiance, Sarah Cooley, at this year's South by Southwest. And then I went and I got a new job at a company in LA called Goji that makes a really cool iPhone app. And it was for a job called Director of Community. An important sounding title.
Indeed.
And I found out I was diagnosed with cancer. And wow. There you go. You gave it away, Mike.
Sorry. Yeah, seriously. Okay, we're cool.
Holy fucking shit! What? All this work, all this time, everything that I put into my life, how it's gone. Everything's been going great. I met Sarah. I have this new job. What the hell? I'm getting things installed in my body, a port. I'm in the Matrix now. There you go. When I get chemo, it goes in my chest. All this stuff happened within a couple weeks. It was scary. It was very scary. That's what it felt like. Is this real life? Is this real? Is this really happening? So I called my friend Mike. And I told him. And he helped me through some really rough times. So I called Bob Barker, and he didn't answer. And I called Alf, and he answered, and he wouldn't shut up. And I called Mickey, and I told Mickey that I had cancer, and what am I gonna do? And she said, you're gonna do what you do. And what you do is you talk to people, you meet people, you reach out to people. You're a human being. Don't change that, you know? And immediately, you know, I have cancer, but cancer doesn't have me. So I did what any geek would do. You know, I started blaming my cancer on things, obviously. It was my way to cope. It was my way to deal, try to be funny. You know, I lost my keys. You know, my mom, who I'm now living with in New Jersey, she bleached my jersey. I blamed my cancer. It freaked her out at first. I called Mike. I said, let's make a website. He said, okay.
This would have been a great time for me to put this slide on if I'd have waited a little bit.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
but it's there. So, I mean, so the elements we have there, right? I'm pulling it all together. The elements we have there, we got that logo that sat around. I had nothing to do, you know, it just sat there. There's a logo.
Damn it.
Oh, yeah. Livestrong reached out to me immediately after the site launched and people were tweeting and blaming things on my cancer. Some very touching things, some very funny things. Nickelback has been blamed on my cancer. Other people's cancer has been blamed on my cancer. Family members' deaths have been blamed on my cancer. But immediately Livestrong reached out to me and asked me how I was feeling. And I think that's the first time someone asked me that. It happened so fast. And, you know, Mike put the website together. I think we launched it my first day of chemo.
Yeah.
And so there's the website. And then Lance Armstrong blamed my cancer for his shoulder injury. Let's note the number of followers here. That's 1.8 million now. Yeah. So clearly my cancer juiced his numbers. Somebody called me, a radio station in Austin, and said, oh, can we have you on to talk about Blame Juice Cancer? And I'm like, okay. And they're like, it must be great to have Lance Armstrong on your side. And I said, what? He blamed my cancer for something. I hadn't even seen it. But I'm going through chemo treatments, and reading these tweets and reading these things helped. They helped, right? They helped in business. They helped in marketing. They helped in starting grassroots campaigns like War on Birds. I don't know if anybody of you ever tweeted War on Birds. When the birds got stuck in the plane, attacking birds. Anyways, see, I did a great job with that one. So things were happening fast. There's my Lance hat and then that stupid monkey face that is glued on my face now. So I decided, let's jump out of a plane, right? Which scared my mom even more. When I told her I said I was going to do it, she said no. And I said, I'm 29 years old. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And, of course, she came back with, well, not when you're living in my house. All right, let me get this straight. I got a new great job. I'm moving to LA. I just got fucking cancer, and now my mom's telling me what to do. Perfect. Thank you, cancer. I'm mad at cancer at this point. You know? Let's jump out of a plane. So I did it. Let me set this picture here. Here's what I'm thinking. What the hell am I doing? Like, I'm not even afraid of dying because I'm dealing with cancer, but what? Yeah.
And why is this dude attached to you?
And the dude's attached to me. And there's my buddy Chris Schmidt. You know, everybody's wearing a Blame Juice Cancer shirts. And he's looking at me like, dude, are you gonna like puke or something? And this guy looks like Kato Kalin, which pissed me off. I wanted him off the plane. I was like, get Kato off. He's a jinx. Britt in the back, they had to duct tape her mouth. She kept yapping. That was how she was dealing with the stress. But I did it. And it was awesome. You know, I figured if I was going to get over some fears, you know, I kind of am dealing with the fear of dealing with cancer and the unknown and diseases. feel free to jump in anytime, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. And sweet.
I can point out to everyone that this is on wheels.
It's on wheels?
Yeah,
really?
I just actually almost
Sweet.
fell down.
We'll ride it in a little bit. So I jumped out of the plane. Awesome stuff. Wore the Livestrong band. Got lots of pictures of me with my skin flapping. Very embarrassing. And we all jumped together. And that's what's gotten me through a lot of this stuff is together. All the tweets, all the phone calls, everything. It's, being social in a situation where you don't want to be social is exactly the time you do want to be social. And then pictures started popping up of people who bought the shirts. I don't know who this gentleman is. I know who this gentleman is. It's Alex Hillman from Philly, but he makes the shirt look good. And then ABBA called. And I didn't answer. And then I made a really dear friend. His name's Ethan Zahn. He's going through the same, he's going through Hodgkin's lymphoma, actually a rare version than I am. So here's the situation. This was my first taste of, hey, I'm going through something you're going through, but it's a little bit worse. And I thought, well, maybe I hit the jackpot. My cancer's not so bad.
Yeah.
So, I started focusing on not only kicking the shit out of my own cancer, but other people's cancer too. And I really hope that the Mac tablet comes out. I want this so bad. Like, if it looks just like this, really. Man.
I'm just going to let this one linger for a little bit here.
Just a moment of silence. Okay.
All right.
More people, I don't know, they wore the shirt. It's amazing. I can, I feel it. People send me these pictures, or I just find them on the internet. Click on the first one. I don't know which one's which. And some odd things started happening. Yeah, this one's
that's
interesting.
a bit of a spoiler.
We don't have sound.
Oh. Sorry. Dance or something.
All right, restart that bad boy. No, actually, you can hit play from there. It's okay.
Dude, stop barking orders at me.
Whoa! Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hey Drew, it's Melissa here. How you doing? I'm
My friend Melissa.
From your old stomping grounds, and I just made a new friend who would love to blame her cancer.
I'm like, okay, cool. Holy shit, is that Bon Jovi? What? How does that even happen? I'm sure he sat there like, okay, what do you want me to say? Who's Drew? Why does he have cancer, and why is he blaming shit on it? That's the question I get a lot. Why aren't we blaming things on your cancer? And the reason why people are blaming things on my cancer is we're making it a very tangible object. We're making a diagnosis not a death sentence. And we're empowering people to take their treatments and take their lives into their own hands and say, I have cancer, cancer doesn't have me, and I'm going to kick its ass. I'm going to kick its ass. And the way we've chosen to kick its ass is to blame everything you can think of on my cancer. So, yeah. And the next one. This one was surreal too. But this one was in person, and I still don't believe it happened. Wyclef. We got all music styles handled. Now, what are we missing? We need country artist.
Can I just start surfing YouTube here?
No. In a minute. We might have time to film.
All right.
Okay. And then I was on TV, and Ethan yelled at me for wearing a hat. He texted me and said, "Show the bald. Show the bald." Ethan, he won Survivor. He's very well known for his hair. And I've been going bald for years, and I always wear hats. I was like, dude, I always wear hats. But I got his point, right? Because at that point, it wasn't about me. It wasn't about my cancer. It was about what I was going through, and I'm not the only one.
And incidentally, that's not us. That's near $4 million, so we still do need donations.
That would be awesome.
I don't know what
that would
is.
be awesome. And I was on AOL's homepage. When I was on AOL's homepage, I got a call from somebody I used to work with. And she said, I just saw you on AOL.com. And I'm like, oh yeah? She's like, is it your cancer? What, you have cancer? I didn't hear about this. So people started hearing about the fact that I had cancer from the website and from news and all this stuff getting out there, which was kind of helpful because it was less phone calls that I had to make. Hi, I have cancer. Click. Hi, I have cancer. Click. Hi? Yep, cancer. Oprah, baby, honey, sweetheart, you let George Bush kiss you. Show us the love. I'll jump on the couch. We'll give some shit away. We'll put it under the chair. We'll do that whole thing. Regis, Kelly, you're on the Twitter now. Blame the cancer. Come on, just blame it. It'll be fun. I have a baseball jersey. I went to a Livestrong night at Phillies game. And it was the first time that we went out and somebody recognized us. That would be awesome. Recognized us, so I had a...
make the cracky noise.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
That's awesome. And so I walk around Philadelphia with this Phillies jersey, and I turn around when I walk past people after they read it, and they're like, I don't know that player. And then I reached out to 23andMe. A company that's always scared the crap out of me. Here's the premise. You spit into a tube. They do some genetic testing, tell you what you might be predisposed to, and put it online for you to see. That's real happy. But since we started going through the cancer stuff, nothing was scaring me at that point. So I was like, bring it on. I'll spit into a tube. What are you going to tell me, that I'm predisposed to cancer? Not afraid. Okay. And I learned about what they do, and it's really interesting. I'm not giving you a sales pitch at all, but it's just showing this evolution of, rather than sitting down and taking what was handed to me, I kept pushing, and I kept pushing, and I kept pushing. Still pushing, but I'm not pregnant. So here's how we bring it all back together. I got this from Opera browser. Yes, we're supporting you. Get better soon. All the employees in Norway signed it. This was 3 years ago. I was in Seattle. 3 years ago, I met Chris for the first time. 3 years ago, I started talking to Opera. That's 3 years. You know, I kept conversations going. I kept things going. I kept in touch with people that I cared about. Not because they could do something for me. Not because now they're really helpful because we can get all these people to blame my cancer. Because I kept in touch with them. Because you never know when you need somebody to lean on. And yeah, sometimes it works out, and it works out for business, and sometimes it doesn't. Let's kind of bring that whole thing around. Let's break it. Let's go backwards. If I'd never met Opera, I would have never went to Seattle. If I would never went to Seattle, I would have never started working for Plugged. If I didn't work for Plugged, I wouldn't know this guy. So that pretty much would have left me with cancer, and that sucks. So now I have cancer and a whole lot of everything else.
Unless you got the cancer in Seattle.
So you're telling me we should be blaming you for my cancer?
Well, if we're going to play Choose Your Own Adventure, you might as well follow through.
That'd be interesting. That's a good idea. Hold on to that one. I'm happy. I am happy. I'm very happy with my life right now, cancer and all. So let's be social for a minute. These are all the places you can find me. I have a phone number, 623-BLAME-IT. It's kind of fun. Blame Drew's Cancer. If you go to blamedrewscancer.com/gnomedex, it'll give you a link where you can hashtag blame something on my cancer, and it'll add the hashtag gnomedex. We can bring that up and see what's going on here. No. Firefox. There you go.
I know.
Oh, sorry.
Get off my back.
I'm sorry. This is the biggest browser I've ever seen. How is it too small? Mike.
What kind of idiot coded this
No,
site?
close it.
Dude, isn't there like
I'm going to turn in that IT guy from Saturday Night Live. Move! You okay?
What? I'm hiding. Yeah.
No. We got it.
Just keep going.
Just reload. Reload. No. Don't do that.
You know, it's always very
So good
when
we're
someone
friends.
stands over your shoulder when you're trying to.
That's the style that I'm going for. I'm getting text messages. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so here's for the traffic on the I-5.
Wait a minute. Are we?
For meeting. Wait, he blamed my cancer for meeting me? Who said that? Yeah. So at Disney World, I asked them why they got rid of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. They wouldn't tell me, but now I know to blame Drew's cancer. Is this bringing up just gnome decks?
It was supposed to.
Technical glitch. Well, we just let it roll. So I want to do something really quick. Who in here has ever been diagnosed with cancer? Can you come up here, please?
There it is.
Oh, you ran away. Who in here has ever had a family member diagnosed with cancer? Okay, look around. Who in here knows somebody who's been diagnosed with cancer? Abso-freaking-lutely. You all do. It's a horrible disease. It's not just the form that's mine. There's worse versions of it. In the cancer community, I've been told that I have baby cancer or starter cancer. I'm okay with that. Just means I have more energy to kick cancer's ass. What do we have? Watch live. Whoops. Guess
There's
shouldn't be
a lot of the
cursing.
same retweet going on. It's
Okay. So, any questions? No? I have an 85 to 90% chance of a cure, which is great. Mike just got the clear. 1 year. 1 year, he's been in remission. Just bring it all together. My Cancer is social. We use Facebook. We use Twitter. We use all the platforms, the tools, the websites that we have available to spread a message that we have to spread. And I've been on Twitter for a couple years, and most of the crap that I say is so annoying and obnoxious. I've had more drunk tweets than probably most of you in the first 3 rows. I talk about what I've eaten. I talk about when I walk somebody's dog. All the typical boring crap. But you know what? It's come in real handy when I've needed it. So thank you, everyone, for blaming my cancer on things. How long do we have? That's okay. What do we want to do? Questions? Anybody else have questions? Sure. You can go to the website, blamedrewscancer.com. There's a link to donate directly to Livestrong. You can go to livestrong.org. You can go to the American Cancer Society. You can pick your favorite organization, whatever you want to do, and do something. You know, do something. I understand. What's that? Ronald McDonald House. There's a slew of them. You know, and if you have 10 followers, 20 followers on Twitter, that's a lot. That's a lot of people that pay attention to what you say, and you should use it to say something very important. Although drunk tweets are fun.
all right. Who is this?
Hey, angry
Someone's not
keyboarder.
getting a hug on stage.
Good. No. I would love to talk to them. There you go. Mike, do you have anything to say?
No.
Really? Yeah, how are the jelly beans?
They're nice.
You know, we had a lot of things planned. We were
Like
going to do
Sugar
a thing, if we had time, with Microsoft Crowd here. What if Bomber was involved in this?
Oh, that's right. Do your bomber.
What if Bomber did this? You know, you ever see him do developers? Okay, get some oncologist. That was one of them. That was one.
Yeah, so an oncologist walks into a bar right now.
So no. Anything else? I love you, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because I know this isn't your favorite thing in the world to do.
What? Because of them?
Yeah. No, they're great.
No? No.
You can just blame my cancer. Thanks, everybody. Keep blaming.
Oh, and buy T-shirts.
You can get a shirt, too, if you want.
What? You want me to get it?
Cancer does not stand a chance. Just do something. Thank you so much.